All right, we're gonna go and reconvene to open session. It's 6:17. We went over by a couple minutes, but that's all right. F, announcement of actions taken in closed session.
Thank you, President Alvarado. In closed session by a vote of 4-0 with Mr. Lorenzo Calderon abstaining, and Mr. Kiki made the motion and Mr. Contreras seconded the motion. The board took action to approve the student discipline case number 2223008 as recommended. Thank you.
Thank you for that. G, comments from the public. The board will take any and all comments from the public related to an item on the agenda or any item of district business that is not on the agenda. We have one, Mary Salazar.
Good evening, Mary Salazar. Thank you for listening to me today. It's been a while. The last time I was here was 2019. And it's going to be something that I wanted to bring up again, that I'm asking for, to formally ask to put it in the agenda regarding the school fees, impact fees for developers. And I wanted to make a few statements. I know I only have 3 minutes. But whatever we did or decided back when in 2019, it didn't work. We still don't have any housing. We're the only ones in Imperial County that do not have new housing elements. In other words, they can't even calculate what Calexico is doing. Second, the only item I read in the newspaper was there was going to be 10 homes built back in 2019 and 516 homes or condominiums. That didn't happen. 10 homes were built, but they're rentals. So 10 families did not get any homes. And well, there will never be new homes. We just need your support. You owe it to the students, the teachers, the citizens of Calexico. They've been waiting too long, 13 to 14 years, and no new housing. We have to do something. Something has to change. And I want to see if you guys would hear us as to trying to discuss in this agenda and prepare a formal presentation to understand and see what we can do, because we have to address this. It's important. And we're just dying. We're a blighted city. And Mr. Calderon, do you not get tired driving down your street, seeing empty lots to the east, the empty lot for 30 years? When you drive down from your neighborhood, your beautiful neighborhood. And I'm tired of seeing raw land around me. I'm tired of seeing raw land and no building going on. We have a problem. And it's going to be, we're just going to be known as landlords in Calexico, because that's all they're building is rentals. And students are complaining that they're tired of cramped little rentals, paying like if they're making a mortgage payment on a 2-3 bedrooms. And they want a home. They want to feel proud of their community. And this is what, as soon as they graduate, they're going to leave. We got to keep them here, because they know they're going to have a home they can buy and work here. So we need your help. So I hope you can support me in asking for a formal, to put in the agenda to discuss the impact fees.
Mr. Jimenez, can you inform Ms. Mary Salazar as to where we're at with the tax or the fees, our impact fees?
Well, the information from the city also as well, that they were waiting for them also as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and Ms. Salazar sold me my house where I live in.
30 years ago.
30 years ago.
Thank you. Thank you, absolutely, Mr. Calderon and President Alvarado. So back in October, we had conducted a SFNA study, and that SFNA study is an independent auditor that comes in and looks at a lot of different data to see what are the developer impact fees that the district qualifies to charge. Part of gathering a lot of that data is to get information from the city. I appreciate the partnership and the relationship that we're developing with the city. However, at the time, out of 5 years information that we needed, a 5-year history, we were only able to get 1 year's worth of information. So that really didn't help us as far as really making the best determination of our developer impact fees. Nevertheless, at the time, the SFNA study came back identifying that we would qualify to charge approximately $10.56, $10.50-some. I might be off by a few cents for our level 2 developer fees. It was all within the board's jurisdiction and authority to be able to do that. But our board here, based on knowing about the real estate development market and the situation that exists here in Calexico, decided not to go to the maximum allowable developer fees of $10.50-some, and decided to rather stay at what we already had at the $8-and-something developer fees. At the same time, the board then said we want to do another SFNA study so we could work with the city. At that time, some of our city council members did come to our board meeting and said we're going to support, we're going to help the district, and we're going to work with the district on the study. We're in the process of conducting the study. We have been informed by the city that they will help us with the data and the information that we need. We haven't received it yet. We haven't received it yet. I'm looking at my chief business officer. We've been asking for it, and we're optimistic, and we're hoping that we are going to get it. But unfortunately, we haven't gotten it yet. But that information is critical to help us make that determination of what our developer fees should be. As a school district, we don't have a lot of sources of money to keep our buildings updated and to keep them keep our buildings upgraded for our kids, for our students, and the developer fees is one of those sources of money. So when we're looking at our facilities, we need to be able to keep our schools safe and with the proper building codes and all that sort of stuff. So we do rely on developer fees, but the board has been trying to really balance the money that we need for our school facilities with what the real estate or the development that's happening in the city of Calexico.
Okay. Alrighty. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Mr.
for that,
Jimenez.
Mr. Jimenez. H, consent agenda. All items appearing will be acted upon by one motion without discussion unless any item is pulled for separate consideration and action.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Calderon, second by Mr. Contreras. All in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. I, information item 1, superintendent's report.
Thank you, President Alvarado. I want to notify the public. I want to notify the board that all of our schools have submitted our comprehensive school safety plans. This is something that our safety coordinator, Ms. Alex Limon, has been working with our school staff, our administration, also in collaboration with a variety of different safety committees that she runs, with our parent safety committee and employee safety committee as well. All school safety plans have been reviewed and submitted. The safety plan includes major components such as our purpose and vision of school safety, positive relations, non-discrimination, student supports, parent involvement, maintaining secure physical facilities, emergency response preparedness, mandated reporting, student discipline, safety board policies, among other components of the safety plan. So I want to thank all of our staff members, all of our site staff, all of our parents, our safety committees who participated in the development of the safety plans, Ms. Limon, for putting it together. Now there is a new requirement that our safety plans also have to be shared with our local municipality police departments as they look at our tactical response in the case of an active shooter and those types of emergencies. So they also include a meeting with the chief of police and his staff to review our safety plans and look at what our tactical response would be. Because what was happening is sometimes school districts would say, we're going to do this in case something happens, and the local police who would be the first responder says, like, wait a minute, we don't have that, or that's not the way we do it, or we do it in a different way. So now we need to make sure that what we're putting in our safety plans when it comes to tactical response does correlate and match with what our local police law enforcement are able to do and the way they do it in responding to those types of emergencies. So thank you to our Parent Safety Advisory Committee I know they met for multiple meetings, and to our Staff Advisory Committee and to all of our individual school sites for putting that together. I also want to thank our school board for your leadership and your vision and your priority and interest in school safety. When I first arrived to Calexico, as rightly so, as it should be, the board told me that one of our top priorities was the safety of our students, the safety of our staff, and our school communities. So one of the things we started looking at was for a school resource officer, a school police officer. So again, with Ms. Limon, myself, Chief Serrano, Sergeant Legaspi, and other staff, we started looking at a school resource officer. We started putting together an MOU. Our school board passed that MOU, approved that MOU at our last board meeting, or two board meetings ago, or one board meeting ago. And last week at the city council, our city council also voted unanimously 5-0 to approve for a school safety officer. So we're in the process of recruiting and selecting a school resource officer who's going to be based out of Calexico High School. His or her office will be there. That's where they're going to be full-time, and providing a variety of different services, perimeter safety, security from any internal and external threats, but then also providing a lot of affirmative, proactive education, workshops, seminars, talking with students, doing workshops on cybersecurity, doing workshops on, the dangers of different, drugs and vaping, and meeting with parents as well and developing those relationships. So we're very excited, and I want to thank our board here for your leadership and your guidance and direction on that. Kind of like along the same line as security and law enforcement, I want to congratulate the Calexico Police Department Police Explorer Program. The Police Explorer Program is a program of young men and women, teenagers who might want to explore a career in law enforcement. So at the city council meeting that we were able to be at, it happened to be that same night the police explorers were recognized for their volunteer work and giving back to their community. And so what was really special for us was that most of these kids are either current or former Calexico Unified School District students. So it made us feel very, very proud to see our students being recognized for their giving back to their community, to our community, to Calexico. So I like to just, the explorers who were recognized were Richard Aguilar, Oscar Barajas, Cristian Gonzalez, Julio Manuel Gonzalez, Desiree Guzman, David Mena, Stacy Orozco, America Sarabia, Balkis Sauceda, Jocelyn Tabanico, and Jamie Martinez Vasquez. So congratulations and thank you to the Police Explorers and for their volunteering and giving back to our community. As we speak right now, we have some of our students representing Calexico Unified School District at the county-wide spelling bee competition. So our top students are right now out in El Centro, I believe, representing our schools in the spelling bee. So let's send them positive vibes, right? Let's send them good vibes to them. We have from Jefferson Elementary School, our top three spellers are Luis Martinez, 5th grader, Noah Garrillo, 4th grader, and Gilberto Monreal, 4th grader. And and thank you to Mrs. Janet Chu, our teacher, who's out there facilitating within the program. And from Dual Elementary School, we have Jaden Gutierrez, 5th grader, who's representing our district as well. So best of luck to them. They're spelling words away as we speak right now. And last but not least, this weekend we have our robotics team competing in the San Diego Regional Robotics Competition. And so we have our students who are actually out there and they built the robots. They have to manufacture the robots. These are not robots that come pre-assembled or you just have to connect them together. They actually have to manufacture them and go through a series of criteria for the competition. And so I would like to thank our teachers, Mr. Luis Garcia, Alejandro Camarillo, Franco Nunez, Carla Magallanes, and Betty Nunez for making this opportunity and experience happen for our students. I think it's like a 4 or 5 day competition. They're out there with our kids, making this life, I think, experience of a lifetime and memories that they're going to have for the rest of their lives, making it possible. So thank you to our staff and best of luck, and let's go Bulldogs. And Mr. President, that concludes my board report. Our next board meeting will be held Thursday, April 20th, 2023, and I wish everybody a wonderful weekend and happy Easter.
Thank you for that report, Mr. Jimenez. We'll move on to number 2, ROP committee.
Well, good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight. IVROP continues to collaborate with our staff. They've been planning a lot of services, and in fact, they have met with Mr. Jimenez and staff to try to strategize to get further or implement further services to our district. From February 6th to the 10th, 917 10th graders and 22 SPED students from Calexico High completed the career assessment. On March 8th, IVROP CTE staff supported the CHA feeder school visit. Over 600 students from Willie and Kiki Camarena attended this event, and they actually had a career fair at the Varner Gym. So all these students had an opportunity to see the CTEs that we have offering or that are offered here in Calexico High. On April 26th, Calexico Culinary will compete in the culinary competition at Imperial Valley Food Bank, and is hosted also by IVROP. And the last thing I have is that IVROP will be having their gala, which is dated May 12th, Dancing with the Stars. And actually this event is for scholarships for our students. And just a reminder to all the parents and the seniors that are out there that the deadline for these scholarships is the March 31st. So if you have a senior out there, please have him apply. It's normally $1,000 per application. And last but not least, this organization is also raffling 2 Louis Vuitton purses. So those are fans of Louis Vuitton. It's $20 donation, and the winner will be announced on the 12th of May during the event of the Dancing with the Stars. And that's all I have. So Kiki, buy a ticket.
Thank you for the report. But you know what? Real quick, are you going to be dancing?
No, not yet.
Who's going to be
Mr.
dancing?
Jimenez goes first.
Well, who's going to be dancing out there?
Huh?
Who's going to be dancing?
Well, no one from Calexico. So the challenge is out there. If we have any dancers, let's put up a dancer from Calexico. So,
Thank you for that report.
all right, thank you.
Number 3, insurance committee.
Thank you, President Alvarado. Our Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources, Romel Guerrero, will provide us a brief update.
Good evening, Board, President Alvarado, Mr. Jimenez. Just want to give you an update. The Insurance Committee has had the opportunity to meet twice now. Our rates are out, and the Insurance Committee was able to review those rates this week. And I'm very positive that working with alongside with ACT and CSEA representatives, we'll be able to provide our members, our employees, some good options, and hopefully we can open up the enrollment window before the end of the school year. So we're staying positive, we're working together, we're collaborating, and we'll bring you more information as soon as the committee approves the options moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Mr. Kamal.
Yeah. Mr. President, I forgot to mention that I have left flyers of this raffle in the entrance for those that are in attendance. All right, thank you.
Number 4, LCAP Committee.
Good evening, Superintendent Jimenez, Board President, trustees, and members of the public. My name is Elisa Ramirez, Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services. And just a quick update on our LCAP Educational Partners feedbacks. We met last week with our, I had a group of students at Calexico High School on Monday, March 13. Then on Tuesday, I met with our SELPA Foster Youth Consultation with the county. On the 16th and the 17th, we met with the LCAP Core Committee that consists of all educational partners. We had there 2 students, CSEA representation, ACT representation. We had 3 parents, administrators that represented elementary, secondary, and district level. And we looked at all the educational partners' feedback, and then they summarized what were some of the things that stood out among each group. So students reviewed student feedback, parents reviewed parent feedback, and so forth. So we compiled all that information. And then this week, I met with students, a second group of students from Calexico High School on yesterday morning. On Tuesday, I met with SELPA again, but this one was consultation for students with disabilities. And then last night, I was with the migrant pack parents. So now it's time to get started, start writing the LCAP. And then once we have a draft, we have to present it to our parent advisory and our DLAC group before we finalize it and bring it to you for approval. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Number 5, board reports. These are informational reports by board members. No action is taken. Mr. Calderon.
Well, good evening again. My report will be short. Mr. Contreras and I met with our staff in Aurora High on the 22nd of, yesterday, as a matter of fact. It was a good talk. A lot of things came out that school needs, and hopefully we'll be reporting to Mr. Jimenez so we can get this education going in that site. So that's all I have, and thank you again for joining us tonight.
Mr. Contreras.
Yeah, I'd just like to echo that. So we met with the staff there at Aurora. We are looking at making some improvements, making some suggestions of some improvements into that school. And it's something that we're just going to be working with the committee on. As we make progression on that, we'll come back. Perfect.
Thank you for that, Mr. Contreras. Mr. Pacheco.
Thank you. Went to Rockwood School and visited the after-school program at Rockwood. Everything was locked, but I found a way in. They recognized my nose and they let me in. So I was in there, and I spoke to Gerardo Guerrero, and that young man was the lead there. And I just, how many people are working, how many staff? 0 staff. It's just all tutors. So they have 5 tutors, and it's K to 6. And he kind of went over his program that they're using, the Think, Feel, and Read program. And it's a social-emotional program. And they've got ballet going, and cheer, and soccer tournaments coming up. And they've got art. And he gave him his schedule. But what I found was that not one teacher was assisting with the after-school program with the site. All tutors. Then I got to go to Kennedy Gardens, same thing. I met with Claudia, and she has Gerardo had about 95 students, so did KG. She had about 90, and we went over her schedule, and she's got 7 tutors, and they're using pretty much the same program, but they're using something else for the K3. It's called Grape Seed Read, and they're also using the Think, Feel, Read. It's vocabulary, writing, the ballet, and everything else. But again, no staff, mostly tutors, and a lot of little kids, a lot of students, a lot of activity, cheer, soccer, art, performing. Good things going on, but again, a lack of teacher support. Just tutors working with students. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Ms. Magallanes?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. I just want to go ahead and thank all the staff members that are doing a great job. Mr. Jimenez, you as well, and the cabinet. And also, I want to thank the business that dropped off the goodie box, D. Stella. Thank you, and much luck on your business. That's all.
Thank you for that. As for myself, I just want to thank all staff members for being here. Mr. Jimenez, thank you for the excellent work that you continue to do. I, along with Mr. Calderon, Mr. Jimenez, and the rest of the administration staff, did attend our city council meeting, and just looking forward, to getting an SRO on campus for us. That's something that's very needed, especially if you guys who are involved in the community have just witnessed that a couple days ago, or maybe yesterday, I think it was, or it was on Tuesday. We had the sheriffs that arrested an individual here in Calexico with 5 AK-47s, 1 AR-15. And that's something that we need to echo that same sentiment over to our city council, because that's something that they want to do away with. Some of our cops is take away those weapons for them. So that's something that I'm probably going to bring for possible discussion, possible action, for letter support for our police officers. That way they know that we're supporting them, and that we want to make sure that they have the necessary tools out there to provide the best possible service for our students, the safety for our teachers, and that's something that we need, and it's something for our community. I wasn't going to speak up on it, but it's something that we need to know, and it's something that our community needs to know also as well. With that said, let's go ahead and continue on with the meeting, and thank you all for being here tonight.
Mr. President, I'd like to make one more comment.
Go ahead.
And this is regarding to the after program at Rockwood or any other school. Having gone to Rockwood School, the best sight is to see these kids playing with these lights on, practicing soccer, whatever they're doing. I mean, these lights were long overdue. I mean, it takes these kids to an extended part of their education, and I think that was is a good sight to see kindergartners up to sixth graders playing soccer. So, again, thank you to the staff for that.
Thank you, board members, and I would like to share that we are preparing a presentation, a PowerPoint presentation of all of our after-school program, our participation rates, all of the different programs we have. I do gotta, give a lot of acknowledgement to our Ms. Esmeralda Garcia and all of our after-school staff for, I think, creating probably, I like to say, the best program in the Valley when it comes to our expanded learning program. So I'm very, very proud of the work that we're doing and those opportunities that we're providing our kids. As Mr. Pacheco says, we've got Zumba classes and ballet, dancing, and art projects, and we just all of our board attended the track and field event that we had here for all of our elementary schools, and just the excitement of our kids. We got them T-shirts that were the color of their school, so they could have that school spirit and that school pride and compete against each other. As Mr. Pacheco mentioned, they were coming up with the annual Lobos Classic, the soccer program. We are looking at possibly having that soccer, the final championship, because it's by brackets, right? So as the winners are moving up, like kind of like in March Madness with the basketball brackets. Right. It's like FIFA. And so having the championship game under the lights here in our stadium. So on a Friday night, nothing like Friday night lights at a high school. So bringing those elementary kids who those two schools. I after the track and field event, it were actually the principals who got up on the bronze stand and the silver and the gold stands. And so it was Blanche Charles, I think, got the gold.
Dual in Rockwood, Mains.
Dual and Mains, right?
They had their fingers up.
Yeah, they had their fingers up. So they sent me a picture of their first, second, and third. But we're very proud of our expanded learning program. We're going to provide a presentation to the board on that in the near future.
Thank you for that. Let's go ahead and move on to J, discussion. Number one, judges in the classroom is something that I brought up just for an update.
Yes, thank you, and thank you, President Alvarado. So a while back, and it was like right before the holidays, you brought to us a judge from our Central Court, Superior Court here in the Valley, who shared a program called Judges in the Classroom, and this program consists of real judges. I mean, these are real men and women from our court system that come to our school sites and talk with students about the case studies and case laws and real actual cases that happen that could impact all of us in civil rights cases and whatnot. I am very happy to share with you that Ms. Isaura Vadillo has already made contact with Judge Domensen. They've already have, I'll get you the exact date, but for the first week of April, I already have their first presentation. Judge Domensen says he might bring another judge with him, and he also said that he was going to reach out, and this is something that I'll talk with in one of her other hats with our PIO, Ms. Limon, because he wanted to reach out to the media, to our local press, because he mentioned that we were the first site in the county to reach out to him and to schedule the program with him. So he's very excited that he wants to bring another judge with him and reach out to the media, and maybe we could get a little bit of media coverage on that day showing our judges there in that class. I also, Mr. Diego Romero at Kiki Camarena also reached out to judges in the classrooms. They reached back, they contacted him back and said, we're a little bit backed up right now, but we'll be calling you within the next 2 to 3 weeks so we could schedule a date with you as well. So we're starting right now with our 2 middle schools, and I'll follow up with our high school as well, and bring this to more of our students. But we're very happy about this opportunity. And I'll let the board know on the actual date that they'll be there on the first week of April. So if the board wants to attend and see this presentation for yourselves, I'll give you that exact date and time.
Thank you for that update. Any comments, board members? With none, let's go ahead and move on to K, action items, consideration and action approval of the following items. 1, approval of invoice from A&N Quality Builders for the music portable classroom fire damage repair at Calexico High School.
I move to approve with just a comment.
Have a motion by Mr. Calderon,
Second.
second by Mr. Pacheco. Go ahead.
And the comment I have is that I know that this was covered by our insurance, but if I just have a question whether our staff have gone to check other sites to see if we don't have the same issue on other sites. Could we have golf carts throughout our district to make sure that they're being properly charged and that we don't expose our sites again?
Thank you, Mr. Calderon. So that I will make a note of that and make sure that we do an inspection of our golf carts and where they're being charged. Calexico High School has the most at one site. Most other sites might have 1 or 2, where Calexico High School has many more. But we will nevertheless make sure that all of our golf carts are properly being charged with the proper outlets and whatnot, so that this won't happen.
Thank you.
So with that said, we have a motion to approve. We have one by Calderon and by Pacheco. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Number 2, agreement between Calexico Unified School District and ICOE, Calexico Academy to receive free meals for the 23-24 fiscal year.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Pacheco, seconded by Mr. Calderon. All those in favor, please state
I
aye.
have a quick question on that, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
And, I know that it says free meals and stuff, but I think at one point or another, because it has no fiscal impact to us, that we need to figure out what the cost is, because it's something that we're gaining, on the overall. And there's several items in there that, have to reflect some type of cost. Somebody's paying it, right?
And I could answer, I think, partly with that, and then maybe bring you a report on this specifically at a future meeting. But this is a reimbursable program. So for these county programs with our students in our city here in our school district, we provided the meals, and then with this agreement, then we submit the reimbursement application to the state, and then the state reimburses us.
And that's the reason why I'm asking for it, because there was money put out and money coming back in.
Yeah.
Right, so we just kind of want to know what we have in the bank on that specific item.
For
that
these
we're-
items,
Yep.
okay.
Our staff track it, Mr. Contreras,
Yeah.
and that's how we get reimbursed.
Yeah, I know,
They're
just
tracking
like,
every
because
lunch.
we're showing it to the public and we're voting on it, I'd like to know what
Yeah,
the
correct.
general cost is.
So all those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Number 3, agreement between Calexico Unified School District and ICO All Ed and SPED to receive free meals for the 23-24 school year.
So moved.
Fiscal year.
Second.
Motion by Calderon, seconded by Pacheco. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Number 4, agreement between Calexico Unified School District and teacher-created materials for 2-day family engagement workshops.
So moved.
Motion by
Second, with a
Magallanes,
question, and I
second
think-
by Calderon with the question. Go ahead.
Can someone just tell us what this training is about? I know it has to do with parents, but just quickly and
Yeah,
because
Okay, we have Ms. Lisa, our Director of
yeah.
Special Programs.
And I know it's Title I, 11,000, but what are we getting for our?
Good evening, Brisa Huerta Price, Director of State and Federal Projects, Calexico. This is for a total of 4 workshops for parents to help them support learning at home, especially as we're getting closer to summer. And so this is to prevent some of that summer learning slide, and parents can do activities in their daily day routines that are going to help promote learning. So, one, talking to their kids, narrating everything they say, especially for kids, incoming TK, incoming TK through 3rd grade, just that language development, having conversations when they're cooking, making references to first I do this, then I do this, in English or Spanish. So then these workshops will also be 2 of them are in English, 2 of them are in Spanish, and then the parents are going to get instructional materials so that they can support the learning at home.
Ms. Price, my last question is, what sites are targeted with this training?
So these are going to be district-wide trainings, but we are going to be asking, kind of putting it out to the principals who's willing to host, and then depending on the interest of the parents, we can add additional trainings at different school sites. And then if the school sites are very busy, we can also offer it at the FRC in the Parent Center.
Well, I was wondering why Mrs. Armendariz was doing this. She has no contact with that many parents, but from the school sites,
Yes.
sites.
She does.
But you're going to draw from the school sites.
Yes.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
And we work together in a lot of these
That's all the
activities.
questions I have. Thank you very much, Ms. Price.
All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Number 5, agreement between Calexico Unified School District and VIX Mechanical Service Contractors to replace heating, ventilation, and air conditioning HVAC units at Calexico High School. I have a motion myself to approve that, but with the question.
Second.
Second by Mr. Contreras. Well, my question is, since I know we have VIX online, did we contact any other HVAC companies out there to see what the prices are that they could give to us? Because if it's just one, we're just getting price for this one. But if you went out there and opened it up to some other companies, then that way we could go ahead and see that.
Evening, everybody. Daniel Campo, Director of Maintenance Operations. I did contact R&K and R&K and something, and I forgot the name. I don't have it right now. But this is it's a very unique HVAC system, and this is the only one that was in Utah. So VIX brought it over without authorizing it, and hoping that you would authorize it. But then nobody else submitted a bid because there's no other unit available in the country.
Yeah, no, correct. I'm not saying a bid because it's under the threshold for a bid.
No. There was no other quote submitted because nobody else had the unit except for VIX.
All right.
Question.
So,
Any
we
other
brought
questions?
The equipment without even
No,
approving it?
VIX brought it on their own.
Yeah, but we haven't approved it. What if we don't approve it then?
Then they'll keep it for their supply.
So yeah, however, whatever VIX did or how, but they had it in their inventory. This is because it's a gas supplied so it's just different from most of our units, which is electrical supplied. So this one with the gas supplied, and that unit that fits there, it's actually the in-kind unit with the same valves and the same connectors and the same dimensions. And so VIX had that unit in inventory, and no other of the HVAC companies had that particular unit or has that particular unit.
Well, yeah, it runs on natural gas. I understand that.
Mhm.
Yeah. I have my opinions on it, but
Yeah, and that's something that I want to discuss for future at a future meeting. Is we've been using VIX for some time. I know we're using them for just the maintenance, but I want to see if we could go ahead and just open this up. And I think I've had this discussion with you. Open it up for other AC companies out there also as well, because I don't want to be using just one company, because I don't even know if we're getting the best price, or for what we're putting out there. With that said, that's the only comments that I have. If there's any other comments, I know there was a motion and a second. Any other comments?
No, just, I think you're right. The vendors, we need to share the wealth. We just can't go with one company. Make sure that we get a good price. I mean, it's got to be competitive.
A good price and a good service.
Yeah, correct. So with that said, there's do I have all those in favor, please state aye.
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 So we have you said aye, Contreras.
Aye.
Mr. Pacheco said aye.
Aye.
Magallanes said aye. I'm gonna say no.
I say no, and when I want to explain why. I do support FFA because I know this is for the FFA classroom, but the way this was done, I don't approve. And that's why it's my reason.
And my reasoning behind that is just the what I stated out there in my comments. I'm being transparent. I want to see if we get something better. I mean, not only that, there's other companies out there that we could have contacted, not just those two companies that you stated, or it's 3 companies that you stated. And with that said, I don't want to take nothing away from the kids. They do need that in their classroom, but I think we'd have got a better price. So that said, it did pass 3-2. Number 6, approval of the Calexico Unified School District Comprehensive School Safety Plans.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Contreras, second by Mr. Calderon. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 507. Agreement between Calexico Unified School District and JD Design Company for the installation of signage with district name and design for 16 maintenance and operation fleet vehicles. I make a motion to approve. Second by Ms. Magallanes. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Number 8, agreement between Calexico Unified School District and Desert Building and Design Incorporated for the renovation of the Calexico High School 9th grade campus PE room.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Calderon, seconded by Ms. Magallanes. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Number 9, approval of transportation plan for the 22-23 and 23-24 school year. And I think there's a presentation on
Yes,
that, correct?
there is, President Alvarado. So there's a presentation by Ms. Maribel Paz and Mr. Dario Espinosa, our Supervisor of Transportation. And I'm also handing down for the to the board a copy of the presentation.
Good evening, President Mr. Alvarado, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Mr. Jimenez, and members of the public present with us tonight. My name is Maribel Paez, and I'm the Assistant Superintendent of Business Services. And tonight, Mr. Dario Espinosa, our MNO Transportation Services, and I will be presenting the Calexico Transportation Plan for 22-23 and 23-24. So as part of the governor's 22-23 trailer bill, school districts may be reimbursed for 60% of home-to-school transportation cost. And to ensure eligibility for reimbursement, school districts must develop a transportation plan before April 1st, 2023. And on this plan, we should describe all the services that we offer and all of our students that we provide these services to. I do want to note that this plan is a new state requirement. However, the district has provided free transportation services to our students for decades. Just to talk a little bit about the district, the Calexico Unified School District is the largest school district in the Imperial Valley, educating over 8,353 students from the city of Calexico and surrounding rural areas.
The district includes 7 elementary schools, 2 junior high schools, 1 high school with 2 physical campuses, 1 alternative continuation high school, 1 adult education center, and independent study program. I am going to give the opportunity to Mr. Dario Espinosa, our transportation supervisor, to give more detail on our transportation services.
Good evening, Mr. Superintendent, Mr. Jimenez, Mr. President Alvarado, board members, folks, good evening. So, I will be presenting to you folks transportation services, and it's as follows. Calexico Unified School District offers free home-to-school transportation to all students who qualify by living within the district attendance boundaries and meeting the following criteria. 1, all students who receive special education services. 2, K-3 grade students who live greater than 1 mile from the school of attendance. They meet the requirements. 3, 4 to 8 grade students who live greater than 2 miles from the school of attendance. They meet the requirements. 4, 9 to 12 grade students attending a 4-year high school who live greater than 3 miles from the school of attendance and meet the requirements. So, give an example by who that meets the requirements. I'll put this in example. Say we have a student, a school of residency, say is dual school. If for some odd reason he's not able to enroll and he needs to go to a different school site, then transportation will kick in, of course, and we would provide transportation for the student. Okay, so that's one of the because it's one of the criteria that we meet in that aspect. Any questions there? No. The district operates 8 different school routes, or bus routes, I should say, that average approximately 500 miles per day. Now, that's quite a bit of miles that we do on a daily basis. You need to understand that we service all over the valley. We go to El Centro about 5-6 different times throughout the whole day. Different schedules. We deal with different schedules in El Centro Elementary, high school, as well as the county, ICOE as well. So it keeps us real busy through the whole day. So, like I said, it's not uncommon for us to go 4 to 5 times on a daily basis to El Centro back and forth, depending on the modified schedules that they have in El Centro. And that primarily is for our special needs students. The district provides transportation to approximately 418 students. That includes our general students and our special needs students through the whole valley. Calexico, throughout El Centro. We've gone all the way to Imperial to pick up our 504 Bikini Clan kids as well. And so we're all over the valley. So we do, like I said, put a lot of miles, and that includes our 418 students, general and special needs students as well. The district provides transportation for activity trips as well throughout Imperial County and Southern California that supports the educational activities of students, including curricular, extracurricular, and athletic activities or trips, averaging approximately 500 activity trips per school year. So that includes the whole Southern California. We go all the way to Magic Mountain, Disneyland, the zoo, San Diego, back and forth. Sports. Matter of fact, we got 2 buses heading to San Diego this coming weekend. So, like I said, we service the whole Southern California. We put a lot of miles, obviously, because we travel all the way to San Diego, Palm Springs, and some tournaments in LA as well. So we don't do hardly any local tournaments here in the valley. Everything is anywhere from 100 or 300 miles driven distance. So we put quite a bit of miles there as well. And on average, we average approximately about 200,000 miles in a school year. That includes our school-to-school routes, and that includes as well as our activity trips. So it's about half of each, about 100,000 each, approximately. So in other words, transportations get real busy through the whole year, if you will. The district and transportation department has 24 staff members. That includes myself, bus drivers, mechanics, bus attendants. They operate the whole on the transportation department. The district currently has 19 school buses and 6 vans serving the transportation programs. Now we're in schedule to receive 7 electric new buses, hopefully within the next few months, through a grant that's gone through the state level. So it's just a matter of us just waiting in line for, to get our turn to get our new buses. So once we have our new buses in here, about 30% of our fleet will be electric buses. And those, pardon me?
Can I, yeah, quick
Yes,
question. Are we going to have enough charging stations for those buses?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah, Mr. Ocampo's working on that. He's spearheading the stations there. Yes, sir.
Right now, we have three in our facility, 3 charging stations. And we have 1 electric vehicle right now. So hopefully by the end of the year, we'll have 8 electric buses, including the one that we have right now in our facility. And those are part.
We currently have 2?
We have 1 right now, sir.
1.
Yep. And those electric buses were primarily going to be used here in the valley for our special needs students. Any radius within a 100-mile radius, because of the lack of charging stations that we have approximately, but they are going to be used locally. Anything over the hill, I'm talking about San Diego, LA, for example, those are going to be our biodiesel buses that we're going to be traveling with those buses. Those are our Transit D huge buses that you see all out there. So those are primarily used for our students and for extracurricular activities that we travel, over the hill. So, any questions?
I don't have a question, but I want to make a comment.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Espinosa, a while back, I think it's been 3 weeks now, where our kids were stuck up in the mountains.
Yes, sir.
And I want to publicly commend you
Thanks, sir.
for handling that situation and keeping our kids safe
Thank you, sir.
while they were stranded up in the mountains.
Thank you, sir.
I don't think we had an opportunity to have you in front of us. And in public, I'd like to thank you and thank your staff for taking every measure. And, I mean, these kids almost slept overnight in the mountains.
Yes, sir.
And because of your leadership and also your staff response, they were brought home safe. Again, thank you for your efforts and thank your staff.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I'll let my staff know on tomorrow's transportation meeting. We always hold a transportation meeting at 9:15.
And I want to
And
just
I'll let
echo
them
those same sentiments that Mr. Calderon stated. Thank you so much for that, and it's correct. We said, thanks to everybody else with the exception of you, and you know what, thank you for what you do.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Just last but not least, we do have just a description of, for example, what the 60% reimbursement will look like. They are basing the projected costs for unaudited actuals, so for last year's. So our transportation expense for last year was 2.2 million, the 2.2 million 50,000 there. And if you actually deduct, because this is something that they're not reimbursing, part of your capital outlay, we did purchase 2 of our activity buses in 21-22, so less than 211,000. That gives you, plus the 192 that we received from local control funding formula, the estimated 60% reimbursement at the end of the year that, estimated to be received in June 2023, it's about 1 million, the 1,030,000. Any questions there?
What do you consider to be an add-on on the transportation line? This is less 2021, 22.
Because we do receive right now 192 from our local control funding formula. So from all the costs of 2.2, we only receive 192,000, and this is the first year that we actually getting the 60% reimbursement. That we might get it by June 30th. Okay. Any questions?
No.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
So with that said, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Pacheco, second by Mr. Calderon. All those in favor, please state aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Number 10, rejection of claim. Stephanie Aguirre versus Calexico Unified School District. Motion to approve.
Second.
Second by Mr. Calderon. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Number 11, resolution regarding terminating services of classified employees as a result of reduction or discontinuation of particular kinds of services.
So move.
I'll second that. Is a resolution, Mr. Calderon,
Yes.
Mr. Contreras,
Yes.
Mr. Pacheco,
Yes.
Ms. Magallanes,
Yes.
myself, yes. Motion passes 5-0. Number 12, resolution regarding disposition of surplus asset, non-asset technological equipment at Our Lady of Guadalupe Academy.
I'm motion to approve, but I have a question.
All right, and I'll second.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I know we are obligated to fund Our Lady of Guadalupe, provide funds and so forth, like the mission school and everything. But I've been here since 2014, and I have never seen where we have to actually go remove items from their site. So can someone explain
Yeah,
what are we doing here
I could explain, please.
and why?
Yeah, it's still public funds. So just like we're discarding any object, any item that was purchased through public funds, we need to then have a board approval to discard of those public funds. So let's say we're getting rid of an old textbook adoption that we're no longer using. I know sometimes people would just throw them away, but to do it the right way, we should bring it back to the board for board approval to discard of surplus items. And that's no different, even for items that are purchased with district funds, but for another school site, whether that's a private school or any other organization that we're working with, to do it the right way and the legal way, we should bring it to the board and say we're discarding these objects that were purchased with public funds.
Well, I mean, because Our Lady of Guadalupe is not within our district, but it is in some way because
We still have some financial obligations with them as
All right.
well. Not only in
Yeah.
money, but also in services like special ed, psychologists, speech and language, and that sort
and
of
I
stuff.
understand that.
If I can
110%.
clarify though, so what we provide the private schools are services and materials, but the owners of the materials, supplies, equipment they're still part of Calexico Unified, and so it's sort of we provide them and we lend it to them, but in the end, when they no longer work or when they stop using them, then we need to take possession of those materials and supplies or equipment in this case. So
All right.
again,
And-
we provide services, but the money doesn't belong to them. Everything is
And
part
it-
of.
It's just education, because what if one of our staff goes to retrieve the items and everything and gets hurt? So we're still gonna cover them, correct?
That's correct.
All right,
yes.
okay. That's all I need to know.
Mr. Contreras, you,
They answered my question.
all right, perfect. So with that said, there's a motion and a second. All those in favor, it's a resolution.
Yes, a
Mr.
resolution.
Calderon,
Yes.
Mr. Contreras,
Yes.
Mr. Pacheco,
Yeah.
Ms. Magallanes,
Yes.
myself, yes. Motion passes 5-0. We're gonna move on to L, reconvene to order closed session. It's approximately 7:14. We should be back by 8:30, Janet, I'm hoping.
If you're not, she's gonna take your cookies.